Hello Pisces, thank you for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm actually going to use the Chakra Wisdom Tarot by Tori Hartman. It's a deck I just recently got here. And the supportive oracle cards, the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. You can see the spelling at the top. So that way if you want to find anything by these people, there's the spellings and all that other good stuff. Alright, let's do the tarot cards first. And we'll do that's it? Okay. Put these up here. Alright, where it's starting off from is you have a lot of ideas. That seems to be, like, I say this a lot, I'm a Pisces too, so we tend to have a lot of ideas. It's what we do with these ideas, you know what I mean? If they're going to actually come into existence or if we're just going to let them float around our brains and just kind of enjoy the thought and let that move on. That seems to be the question starting off. When you got some thoughts going on and some ideas about what you want to do, I feel like at first you're kind of keeping it to yourself. I don't know if you're really sold on some of these ideas. Kind of like, all right, if I do that, do I want to do that? And if I get other people involved, then what? Like, does that kind of lock me into it, or does that make me the leader? Do I want to be the leader? How do I want to do this? But still, it has a little air of like, do I want to do this? Some thought you got going on. And I see here, which is very powerful for Pisces. You got dream the world into being, which is this a chameleon? Lizard spirit. But I feel like it's looking around, deciding what you really want to do. Like, is it time to do this? Is this something I really want to happen? I feel that with the lizard spirit, really. It says, dream the world into being, but the question is, do you really want this? Do you really want this to happen? And you seem to be holding back for a minute. Kind of like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to start this going? Because if I pull other people into it, they're going to try to keep pushing me forward, which can be a good thing. And you're just taking your time in the beginning. I feel like you're making it very private. You might not be telling anybody about it. It may be very secretive, maybe, depending on how your life goes. Alright, so what comes in next is very interesting. You are deciding you want to do this. It's like it takes you a little while to really make up your mind to do it. But then the opportunity's in front of you. You got the King of Wands. That's taking action. That's owning a situation, pushing it forward, creating it. You've made your clear decision what you want. And you're just like, yes, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go forward. You also got the, I want to call it the honey badger. It's not. It's a badger spirit. Which to me, it's a very beautiful animal. It's a very beautiful animal that has a lot of drive behind it. So it's kind of like, don't underestimate me. That's the way I feel about the honey badger. It's not a honey badger. It's a badger. For the love of Pete. It's kind of like, don't underestimate me. I got a lot of strength behind me. I can hold my own. But they're very attractive. I think they're very cute animals. I do. But they can do some damage if you tick them off. So I feel like this is the energy you're bringing in. Kind of like you come in very nice, very attractive, but when push comes to shove, you're going to do what you want to do. You know what you want. If you need to, you can hold your own. The energy you're coming into, I feel like this is important for, because you are getting a little bit of pushback with the Four of Cups, but you also have the spider coming in with it. Which, when I feel spider, this says make your dreams real, but I'm more feeling like this is like getting that communication out there, talking with other people. If at first the first couple people don't say yes, that they want to be a part of it, there's other options around you. It's people realizing that you've already decided what you want to do, and it's not really something they want to do exactly. It's almost like, yeah, we want to go to a trip to the mountains, but we don't want to go over there. We want to go over here. And you're like, well, this is where I'm going. If you want to come along, great. But if you got to do what you got to do, do what you got to do. And they're like, well, no, we want to go with you. Well, then I'm coming here. And I feel like that's your energy. Like, well, this is where I'm going. You're welcome to come. If you got to set out on your own, set out on your own. But this is where I'm going. So there's a little bit of pushback. People want to kind of change things on you, but you're like, no, this is where I want to go. This is where I'm going to do this. And I'm getting there's other support, like there's some pushback, but there's other support around this situation. So it's not like a complete like walking. It's not like scaling a wall here. You know, sure there's a bit of pushback, but there's enough support that you can make what you want happen without too much of an issue. As it keeps going forward, this is the first part here. It's in two sections for this time around, for whatever reason. As you're moving on from this, you got the Princess of Cups, which don't get caught up in the gender. I feel like this is a very kind energy that has a lot of power to command, but that people might try to overtake. I don't know if I want to say overtake. People might want to keep trying to push their views and change things a little bit. So you might have to deal with other people pushing. No, let's not go over there. Let's go over here. I want to go over here. And you're like, well, I already have it set up for over here. People trying to like kind of bend you to their will. I don't see you, like it's not completely, like I feel like it's more kind of like you just keep going the direction you want to go. I almost feel like you might be ignoring this other energy. Whoever's trying to push you in a different direction, kind of like, well, it's already done. And then they're calling you or trying to get your attention and you're just kind of like letting it go to voicemail and just kind of like waiting a couple days before you respond. Kind of like, no, not going over there, going over here. It seems fine at this point. Here's where we're going to end up. To make this work out, and I feel like you have the, I want to say tenacity, which I like that word for Pisces, being a Pisces. You have the strength, the tenacity to keep this going. As long as you keep it going the way you want to, and you kind of, I feel like you have to kind of play a little bit of a political game here. If some people are just too pushy and they're monotonous. If they're monotonous, it's kind of like putting them on ice and just not responding too much, just not playing into the situation. You keep moving in the direction you want to. If they go a different direction, well, that's on them. But just kind of like if they're pushing too hard or they keep sending you messages, just maybe ignoring those messages or just walking around them, kind of like I've already given you that answer. I'm not going to talk about that ad nauseum. So you have that's the tenacity, I feel. You got the tenacity to push this forward. As it keeps going forward, there's a lot of color, there's a lot of peace. I feel peace with dove. You got dove spirit, you got parrot. Parrot is very communicative, but also very showmanship, in my opinion. The dove is kind of like a communicator. Like when you got birds, they're usually connected with air, you know. So you got a communicator, but a peaceful communicator. Somebody kind of showing their colors, very communicative. This might be another person kind of helping you get what you want, because the dove especially is making me feel like somebody is helping you. Somebody wants you to have what you want. This seems to take a lot of the pressure off of you. Wherever you were going to begin with, somebody else, and it's not the one who was pushing. I don't know, it shouldn't be the one pushing against you, unless they changed about face, which is possible. Whether it's the one who originally was, you know, trying to change direction, or it's somebody else, whichever it is, because I know it's a general read, it's hard to touch on that. Somebody is on board, and they got the peace spirit here, they got the bringer of the calmness, the fair weather, they're very vocal, they're very showmanship here. You're still commanding it forward, but this person coming in and aiding you and agreeing with you and moving it in the direction you want it to go makes this a lot easier for you. I don't think you're expecting this, really. There's no shock cards here. You're not shocked, but you're not expecting somebody to pick this up the way they are and just help you move it forward to where you want it to go. Somebody who really cares about you, though. The King of Cups is here, too, with the Sun card, which I feel like this is all this same energy. Somebody's going to aid you and kind of pick up the baton and be like, oh, this is where you want to go? This is what you want to happen? I can help you do that. Yeah, not a problem. And somebody pushes right forward the way you want to go, and they keep in contact with you, too. They really care, and it really matters to them that you get what you want out of this. For some reason, they might be looking at it kind of like maybe they think you get steamrolled more than not. And they're kind of like, no, you're fighting for this. You're trying to make this happen. You deserve this. And they're going to make this happen for you. They're going to help this happen for you. Once this situation is done, I'm noticing you got the Four of Swords, which I like the Four of Swords. I know not everybody does, but I think it's more of a rest card, more of like, after everything's said and done, just kind of holding back and kind of going off on your own. When this situation's all done, I do feel like you might be a little exhausted. So for some of you, I feel like you're naturally going to take that little bit of a hiatus and just kind of walk away and just kind of take a break. For others of you, this is like advice. This is saying, know your limits. Know that you've pushed yourself so hard that you're going to have problems. It's going to come up either through sickness or through wear and tear or some type of argument. Something's going to come up that's going to cause you an issue. They're giving you a heads up, like, when this situation's done, do yourself a favor and give yourself a break, pull back, maybe take a day, just watch some TV or whatever you got to do, just bum around the house. Have some time where you can just chill and let your energy settle, and you can just have an enjoyable day, eat the food you like, have one of those days where I'm just going to watch the TV that I like to watch, I'm going to eat the food that I really like, no stress. If there's people around, there's people who are, comfortable for you, they're not stressful, maybe this King of Cups, which don't get caught up in the gender, but you know what I'm saying, that person, maybe allow that person around because there's no stress with that person. That's what the advice is here. Take that break. Make sure you give yourself the break, and everything is going to be cool. Everything's good. I feel like this is a really good reading. I feel like this went really well. As a Pisces myself, I've pushed it too far and I paid the price. So I hope if you're in that boat, you do take that advice. And once the situation's done, you give yourself a break and you just let yourself enjoy life for at least one day. And just let yourself de-stress. Maybe you're really lucky. Maybe you're able to do like a Friday to Monday thing, and you could just, veg the whole weekend and just recuperate. Cool is cool. I mean, it seems like it's very warranted here. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.